This is Mongoose Jake here. Got a video that I want to show you on new Origin8 Ultim8 Sub Compact cranks that I've got installed on my Valiant. These are Origin8's absolute best cranks for mountain bike usage. It's an integrated design with an external BB, and it is a 2-ring crank with a 28 tooth low and a 40 tooth high. Total weight, including the bottom bracket, is 1,052 grams. And these are a pretty beefy setup. It's made for trail bike use, and it's not going to be the lightest crank out there, but it is also going to be one of the sturdiest. I'll show you there. You can see that it is a very sturdy crank arm, and these rings shift quite well. If you haven't rode a 2-ring crank, I highly recommend trying it. If you have somebody who can let you borrow a bike setup like this, the shifting between the 2 rings is almost as instantaneous as it is with the rear derailleur. And I have found, since in my use of 2-ring cranks versus 3-ring, I shift a lot more in the front because it's such a usable spread of gears. I mean, your standard 3-ring crank is a 22, 32, and 42 or a 44. Now, for me, with a 3-ring crank, I spend 90% of my time in the middle ring, and on some bikes I hardly ever shift out of it, which means in all reality I could get away with a single ring, but it's never the most optimal spread of gears, because then you're relying pretty much on your rear, and then you end up with some cross chaining, and that's never good for efficiency or drivetrain wear. With this, you can spend about 50-50. My 28 tooth is actually very usable for, rolling hill climbs, and the 40 tooth is actually quite usable for your normal, kind of flowy trails. And the flowy trails you can ride in your 40 tooth and use pretty much most of your rear spread. This is on a 2x9 with my XO. You're looking at a 9-speed rear, that is a 9-speed spread, and pairs very well for most of my trails. Now, I've seen on Amazon, which I quote Amazon prices for only one reason: everybody can look at it and use it to gauge. I don't know your personal local bike shop pricing, because that varies from store to store. At my shop, these are a $140 crank. On Amazon, they're $150. So my bike shop has really good prices. He has a low markup, whereas the bike shop I use is $140. The one here in Somerset is substantially higher, and Amazon, of course, is just simply a good average. I can quote that for you, and your local bike shop may be higher or lower depending on where you shop. But in my experience with these so far, you're looking at a nice crank that compares very favorably to some of the offerings out there from SRAM and FSA. I'm going to do a video on another crankset that I have, the FSA Comet, which is pretty much the closest competitor that Origin8 was shooting for with these, because it's very comparable in pricing and weight and even the gearing. But all in all, especially versus the Comet, this is a stronger, sturdier, beefier crank arm, and would be better suited to a more of an all-mountain bike, whereas for me the Comet, which you'll see in the next video, is better suited to cross-country and trail, because it is about 100 grams lighter. But these hit a pretty good weight with the BB included of 1,052 grams. Good price at about an average round price of $150, so not bad at all. And they, in my experience, shift well, and there is zero flex in these. This is the Origin8 Ultim8 Sub Compact crank, and if you have any questions, I will post a link to the product down in the section below, and you can also leave a comment, question, anything that you want to know about it. I'll have the link in the description, but if you still need more information, go ahead and leave a question. Again, this is Mongoose Jake showing you the Ultim8 Sub Compact cranks from Origin8.